The Audi Prologue Concept was the star of the LA Auto Show this year, and we had a unique chance to drive it around Beverly Hills. As a design concept, the Audi Prologue paves the way for the Audi designs of the future A8, i6 and A4 models, and serves as a showcase for what could become the Audi A9 Coupe. Honestly, on seeing the first pictures of the Audi Prologue Concept the night prior to the LA Auto Show, I was a bit underwhelmed. Teased as the example for a new, sporty and above all different design language for future Audis, it just didn't strike me as all that different from the current generation Audis. But then there I was at the SLS Hotel in Beverly Hills, with the Audi Prologue Concept shining away in the Californian sun, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Parked across the lot was a current generation Audi A8 limousine, and in comparison the Prologue Concept just looks so much more three-dimensional and dynamic, particularly at the front. The wide and low single-frame grille, flanked by two very deep air intakes, give the Prologue a very strong presence and promising outlook for the future. The design: the Audi Prologue Concept is first and foremost a design concept for the future Audi exterior and interior design. During our stay in LA, we also met with a young, international design team that works on upcoming Audis and show cars under supervision of new head of design Mark Licht. Mark Licht was appointed head of Audi design on the 1st of February this year, and this is the first car created under his supervision. Mark is shaping a new design strategy and language for Audi. With the Audi Prologue, he expresses Audi's sportiness, lightweight design, and emphasizes the Quattro permanent all-wheel drive. Key in the new design are the lower and wider shoulders above the wheels that clearly show the stance of the Quattro drive. The rear of the Prologue Concept is tilted in the driving direction, and the rear lights running across the entire width of the car give the Audi a new look. All around the car, 3D elements give the car a special edge. We truly hope most of these design features make it into production Audis someday. The rear lights in particular are a special feast to enjoy. They might appear flat on pictures, but in reality the layered shape provides a lot of depth and looks stunning. The work on the Audi Prologue Concept started around 8 months ago, with a team of Audi designers making first sketches and drawings for a flagship coupe. The young and international design team that were dedicated to the Audi Prologue show car for the last 8 months consisted of exterior designers, an interface designer, architecture designer, seat designer, UX designer, a light specialist, color and trim specialist, and several other contributors. The team was overseen by a project coordinator together with Mark Licht as head of design. The designers received a lot of freedom in shaping the Audi Prologue Concept. Only a few basic things were set. One of these things was that it had to be based on the A8 platform, albeit with a shortened wheelbase by 60 mm. Also, the desired interior dimensions were more or less a given, but everything else was up to the designers to shape. The ultimate goal for the Audi Prologue Concept was to design a timeless, simplistic and progressive car that would set the tone for the future Audi models. A few things were particularly important to Mark Licht in shaping the design. This included emphasizing the Audi Quattro drivetrain by lowering the shoulder line of the car, giving the car a more dynamic stance. Additionally, a lower, more dynamic front and a well-proportioned roofline were also an important part of the design. Lights play an ever-growing role in defining a car's character and design impact. In my opinion, LED, daytime running, lights offer the greatest change and opportunities in car design of the last few years. The Audi Prologue Concept uses Audi's laser light, first introduced on the Audi R8 LMX. The system has been further developed to include even a matrix inside the big beam spots to blend out any oncoming traffic. Laser light offers incredible drawing distances to light out elements for the driver to see. On the being seen side, OLED technology is ideal, and in the future you might see both combined on next generation Audis, as they are the perfect combo. From a design perspective, the slightly deeper position of the front lights give the Audi Prologue its dynamic stance in the front. And the layered LED rear lights really add a wow effect to the rear of the Prologue. Personally, one of the best looking Audis of all time is the S8D2 facelift model that was built from 1999 to 2002. Even today its timeless design makes it look like a modern car. From my perspective, there is one thing on the Prologue today that I don't really like. That is the way the two hard lines towards the rear of the car look. It looks a bit like a piece of paper that was folded twice, and especially exposed in the bright Californian sun it dominates the side too much. Instead, I would prefer a smoother curve on the top to replace the sharp quattro line in both the front and the back. The interior designers of the Audi Prologue Concept could let their imagination run wild. And they did. It led to some interesting new innovations, including a 3D cockpit and the first bendable OLED display in a car. We will tell you more on both in detail below. Audi opted for a 4-seat configuration finished in high-quality light-colored leather. The front seats are very thin and cut from one piece of aluminum. Their shapes offers plenty of support and fits even tall people nicely. We also tried the back seats, which offer a lot of headspace thanks to the deep bucket seat design. The center console features an automatic gear selector made from one piece of aluminum that also serves as a handrest to use the OLED infotainment screen. Inside the center console is a compartment that can store, charge and connect two smartphones. The dashboard looks very simple and elegant but hides an almost 1 meter long by 9 centimeters high 4K touch display that is separated in a driver and passenger section. This display concept builds on the idea of Gran Turismo cars used for road trips. The Audi team used a particular road trip from San Francisco to Los Angeles as example. The display on the passenger side can plot the entire route and show interesting stops and detours that can be selected. Once selected, the passenger can submit it to the driver for review. The driver can then accept or decline the alternate destination or route. When accepted, it automatically updates the navigation for the chosen route. The same display can be used to select music and build an entertainment playlist. Using nearly the entire width of the dashboard, the 4K display looks like a very clean glossy piano black panel when not in use. The center part of the display closer to the driver jumps out of the dash and displays entertainment info like music track and album covers. Right underneath it are little holes that look like a speaker but are in fact air vents. The steering wheel is a very slick version of current Audi multifunctional steering wheels. The interior is very bright and feels spacious, not only thanks to the light materials used but also thanks to the frameless windows that stretch the entire length of the cabin and can be opened fully. The innovations, as we mentioned previously, the interior features the first bendable OLED display in a car. The display lies flat behind the gear lever when you get in the car. As soon as you start the engine, it veers up and shows climate control and infotainment elements. It is full touch display, and when using it you can use the aluminum gear lever as a palm rest. The system can be set up in such a way that the screen bends up as much or as little to exactly fit to the length of your fingers. The display allows for handwriting commands too. Certainly the coolest feature inside the Audi Prologue Concept is the 3D cockpit. Located directly behind the steering wheel, the 3D cockpit replaces the analog instruments and uses a multi-layer display that truly looks like a 3D screen. It is a bit like a peep show in a shoebox you used to make as a kid. The black tunnel features two transparent and one regular mirror that show information and images from two virtual cockpit displays, used in the Audi TT's virtual cockpit, mounted to the top of the tunnel. The 3D cockpit designed by Jacques Hellad is both useful and cool at the same time. The different layers can be used to prioritize information and show elements with a lower relevance, for example navigation instructions to leave the highway in 50 kilometers further away, and more important elements like your current speed or an incoming call to the first layer. In the Prologue Concept, the first screen showed essential information like RPM, speed etc. prominently and an image of the car further away. Although the use of 2 screens and tunnel will make this system more expensive than the Audi virtual cockpit and less likely to reach production, we truly hope Audi will take it to the next level. The drive it is not every day we get to drive a concept car that was literally driven fresh off the motor show floor where it celebrated its world premiere. Even less common is it to drive a car without registration or insurance, carrying a multi-million euro price tag, on public streets. Yet that is exactly what I would be doing. Outside the SLS Hotel in Beverly Hills I was greeted by a team of Audi designers, engineers and support. The project engineer that overlooked the build would join me in the car and we would be escorted by a team of photographers and the Beverly Hills police. Due to the unique nature of the car, there is only one Prologue after all. I had to wear some funny pants to protect the interior of the car. With the funny pants on I got in behind the wheel and waited for the go signal via the walkie-talkie. As soon as I received the green light I put my foot on the brake and hit the stop button discreetly located in the center console. With a loud roar the 4.0 V8 TFSI engine came to life, more reminiscent of a classic American V8 than any other Audi we know. I engaged drive using the large and solid gear lever in the center console and off we go. Since the Prologue is all about design and technology, the engine is of secondary importance in this concept. For those that really must know though, the Audi Prologue Concept has a 4.0 TFSI V8 engine borrowed from the Audi S8. It produces 605 horsepower and a whopping 750 Nm of torque. ZF supplied the 8-speed gearbox and 0 to 100 km/h can be done in 3.7 seconds. Initially I was surprised to see a V8 in the Prologue Concept and not some fancy hybrid drivetrain, but Audi has a surprise there. The Prologue Concept has a 48-volt electric system on board which allows electricity regeneration through braking for example. This makes the Audi Prologue Concept a mild hybrid and opens the door for other applications that require 48 volts like an electric turbo. Additional features include adaptive air suspension and rear wheel steering which aids cornering capabilities and reduces the turning circle. During our drive with the Prologue around Beverly Hills it was hard to test the car's performance potential, but going by a recent experience with the latest Audi S8 I think we have little to worry about. The Prologue weighs less, has a shorter wheelbase, 20-in brake discs and has additional tech to provide a more dynamic ride. The first part of our journey led through some small streets in the eastern part of Beverly Hills. From here we turned right onto Wilshire Boulevard, home to some of the most exotic car dealerships in Los Angeles and a good place to show off on a Saturday afternoon. At the first traffic light we had a small opportunity to put the accelerator down a little, and as we sped away from the lights the raw V8 sound echoed between the buildings. It felt surreal driving through Beverly Hills on a busy Saturday with a police escort front and back in a car so unique no money in the world can buy it. But things were getting even crazier when we approached the famous Rodeo Drive shopping street. In front of the Beverly Wilshire Hotel, not one, but 2 Bugatti Veyrons were parked as a third one drove by. Clearly this is the epicenter of hypercars in the entire Los Angeles area. People here are so super car spoiled that they won't even blink when a bright orange Aventador drives by, so I was very excited to see how the crowds would respond to the Audi Prologue Concept. Driving up Rodeo Drive in a one-off concept car certainly did trigger a lot of enthusiasm and great responses, although the police escort and camera team probably did help get some more attention. In the middle of Rodeo Drive we stopped for a small photo op. And it didn't take long until crowds gathered on the sidewalk and we gridlocked the traffic for several blocks. Normally not advisable, but this time with the police on our side there was little to worry about. From Rodeo Drive we continued north towards the famous Beverly Hills Hotel and the famous palm tree-lined streets of suburban Beverly Hills. Here the police support proved their value again as they closed a road for us to take some more photos of the Audi Prologue Concept. With the sun slowly going down and the colors of fall in the background, the Prologue truly looked stunning. The Audi Prologue Concept is finished in a special gray, silver color that uses a light dark flip. Which means that depending from which angle you look, the car looks lighter or darker. Exterior designer Paris Gabolski also suggested a slightly darker gray with a slight gold, copper touch. It would work particularly well on the car. We make a few more laps with the Audi Prologue Concept before our time is up and we head back to the SLS Hotel. The Prologue is slightly, 18 mm, wider than the current Audi A8, this extra width used to give the Prologue wider shoulders and a more dynamic stance. This extra width is hardly felt on the wide American boulevards, but for European standards it is certainly a large car and could become a competitor for the likes of the Mercedes-Benz S-Class Coupe and Bentley Continental GT. The future of the Audi Prologue Concept clearly hints at a luxury two-door Audi A9 Coupe. As it is at the moment, no decision has been made to take this car into production, and even if a decision would be taken today, it will take about 3 years to turn the concept we have driven today into a production car. As its parent, we would love Audi to take this Prologue into production as a two-door coupe, as we really like to see another proper two-door GT car on the market.